and thank you so much for tuning in to ChasingCinema.com's official YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jacob Tiranno, and today I'm going to be recapping week 22 of the 365-day movie challenge. This week was supposed to be the week that I watched the list of movies that Jeff, Vegas film critic, gave to me, but that ended up actually getting postponed. I mentioned that last week. So this week was actually just complete random. And as you can tell, it's not Monday, it's Wednesday, so I'm running a little bit late on this recap. Right now, Las Vegas Film Festival is going on right now in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont. It'll actually be tomorrow at the Palms for like the Cine Vegas reunion. I'll be there. Hope to see you guys there. If not, make sure to get your tickets for next year because it is a great event. It is a very large event for Las Vegas. It's a great event for Las Vegas. And if you want to be in the film community, this is how you do it. You go to the film festivals, you talk to the filmmakers, you talk to the people who are involved in this community. It's really, really awesome. Make sure to go check it out. I'll be doing coverage throughout the week. I've been having some technical issues, so this week just wasn't my week. But hopefully we'll be all up and back in order by Friday, where my reviews of The Conjuring 2, Now You See Me 2, and Warcraft will all be posted on this channel. But let's quickly move into it. Guys, it's going to be a quick recap. Just so much going on, but let's hop right into it. So just completely random. This week I watched day 148, I watched Gimme The Loot, which is this very small budgeted film about these two kids, a young boy and a young girl, who are into bombing, graffiti, tagging. And they want to bomb the apple in the Mets stadium. When a home run happens, this apple comes out, and they want to, the big apple, so they call it, and they want to bomb it. And this was just a surprisingly charming film. You get to spend time with a lot of interesting characters, and the main characters alone have such a great chemistry in the scenes where they interact. It's wonderful. I mean, it's this small, unique breath of fresh air. Just something completely different. It feels... it doesn't feel artsy, like it's not super artsy, but it feels like home. It feels so right and so easy to swallow and so much fun. It's just a really, really great picture. I was really, really happy with this. Josh Bell, my good friend over at Las Vegas Weekly and JoshBellHatesEverything.com recommended this to me, and I'm so glad he did because I really loved it. It's also filmed about locations. You watching this, you can clearly tell that Do the Right Thing and Spike Lee have a huge influence on this movie. And granted, it has a lot of issues, but it's time with some great characters in an amazing city. I just really enjoyed it. I just had a smile on my face the entire time. I put it best here. Again, if you don't know, I'm tweeting every single day. I tweet a little review of what I'm watching that particular day, as well as all the other fun stuff I tweet on Instagram right here. Just go here or here, wherever it is. Just click it. Click it and go. Follow me. But I said, it's a breath of fresh air, or better yet, a palate cleanser. And I think that's a great example, because of everything coming out, Gimme The Loot just totally cleansed my palate and got me prepared for everything else that's to come this summer. The following day, I watched Now You See Me 2, which unfortunately I cannot talk about yet, but my review will be up this Friday on this YouTube channel. So make sure, if you're watching it after Friday, if you're watching after release date and you're like, wait a minute, did that movie come out yet? This white eye up here. Click it, a bunch of links will drop down. If it's out, it'll be there. Moving on, I watched TMNT 2, a movie that I reviewed. White eye, links, you'll find it. Wow, this movie was actually really bad. I was not a fan of this movie. Now, mind you, I didn't like the remake of the TMNT 2 a couple years back by Michael Bay, Megan Fox, and lead. I actually hated that movie. I hated that movie. I'm a big fan of the characters, and I don't think these filmmakers have yet to really understand the characters that they're just selling merchandise off of. I talk about it a lot more in my review. Just go check it out. It's a much more in-depth review. But basically, TMNT was like this serious, we're going to kind of be for kids and adults. We're going to be like Marvel. And then it was too serious, so in this one they went to like bad cartoon, like fart jokes. Like, haha, farting. It's funny. It was like an Adam Sandler movie without Adam Sandler. And like Adam Sandler is the only thing that redeems an Adam Sandler movie, which doesn't even really redeem it. Yikes. It was just not good. Check out that review for the full thing. Now, thank God, the next day I watched a movie that totally blew me away. One of my favorite of this challenge, out of the 151 films, I had seen up to this point, it was definitely one of my favorite of this challenge. I'm going to do it like a list at the end of this challenge to say which my favorites are, but this is definitely one of them. It's an older film. You're like, Jake, what the hell you been doing? Why haven't you seen this? It's a 2004 film from Alexander Payne, Sideways. Now, Sideways was this incredibly moving but funny film. Alexander Payne just really knows how to handle characters and create these characters that are so interesting, and you just want to experience them. And what's really great is that there's nothing in an Alexander Payne movie. Like, the characters don't do things because the plot needs them to. They do them because they're their own people. And I mean, that really credits how good Alexander Payne is as a filmmaker. I'm just really bummed it's taking so long to see this movie. 12 years it's taken me to see this great picture. It's filled with interesting and well-developed characters, and Miles, our main character, played by Paul Giamatti, who I think is one of the best actors working, period. I mean, he is so phenomenal and never gets his name mentioned when that great actor's conversation happens, and it's a damn shame because that man is talented. He was actually the only one that got shafted by the Academy Awards during this. I mean, the co-star, who was played by, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was nominated. Writing actually won. The screenplay won. Director and Best Picture all were nominated but did not win. But Giamatti didn't even get a nomination. What the hell is that? Granted, he lost to Ray, and I can't remember the other nominees. He lost Jamie Foxx for Ray, but still, that nom should have happened because he is phenomenal. It's fueled by an incredible script and phenomenal performances. That's what I wrote here. It's charming. It's a charming movie. It's a movie that will make you laugh and smile, and you'll be happy to be there with them. It's a movie that will make you laugh and make you think. I mean, it's truly a near-perfect film. It's a movie that talks about disappointment and how we are in our lives and how we deal with that. And I mean, it's truly a fascinating movie. I loved it. Moving forward, I watched the Elaine Stritch documentary from 2013, Elaine Stritch, Shoot Me. And I love Elaine Stritch. It's hard not to love Elaine Stritch, right? She's great. Though, I mean, granted, I have not seen much of her Broadway work. Some of it, like on clips or videos and things like that, but I'm not familiar much with her work, just her acting work, especially in Screwed, which she plays the funniest old lady ever. And it's so funny to kind of see, like, she's really like that, and she's really hilarious, and she's really got a, she's really to the point. She's blunt. She says what she wants. She's frank. I mean, and watching this documentary of this legend, it doesn't pull any punches. I mean, it's hilarious, and just hanging out with her is incredibly funny, but at the time, incredibly heartbreaking. Now, I believe she was in her late 80s. I want to say 87. And she, in this movie, is debating her longevity. Can she go on? Can she still perform? Now, the movie is about her actually doing a performance of Strandheim songs. But she kind of comes to terms like, do I need to stop? I don't want to stop. I want to keep working. But she addresses her alcoholism and her determination and her feelings about retirement and overall death. And I think getting really close to someone who's at that age, and she looks at her life and she kind of realizes what she wants to do until that point. It's a pretty fascinating thing to watch. Not the best documentary, but very good. It's an in-depth look at an older woman who fights to perform instead of surrendering to her age, and you gotta respect that. The next day, I watched another top-notch movie. One of my favorite movies of this year now, I could say. One that I've been waiting to see, called The Witch. The Witch was truly a phenomenal picture. A fascinating movie riddled with tension and suspense. I mean, just the way it built tension was just wow. I really, really loved it. It's smart and extremely compelling, and all while being visually stunning. I mean, this movie talks about faith and family and trust and so much, and it's just like everyone's going in there expecting this movie about a witch, and it's totally not what they're expecting. Instead, it's this really smart, genius thriller. I mean, it's a display of attention to detail. Everything in that movie is so detailed and so wonderfully done. I loved it. Everything from the set to the costume design. It's horrifying, but beautiful. It's a beautiful, horrifying sight. It literally crawled up my list to one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I really, really loved it. Don't let people talk you out of it. Really, watch it. Enjoy it. Okay, and then I watched, for the final movie of the week, I watched The Congress, a movie that I heard about multiple times and really, really wanted to see, which talks about Robin Wright, which is about Robin Wright, who plays the kind of a version of herself, getting older, and the movie studio, Paramount, get that, Paramount, get that? They want to scan Robin Wright so they could have her and make her do whatever they want with her, because she's getting old, and this is in a time where you could digitally scan an actor and just use their likeness, and she would never be allowed to act again. And Paul Giamatti's in it. And I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. And then the movie's second half, like, goes haywire, right? Like, then they go into an animated world, and things get weird. I think it boasts some incredible performance, especially from Robin Wright and Paul Giamatti and Harvey Keitel. In the first act, I was really, really invested. Like, I was really interested in seeing where we were going to go with this and how this technology, the backlash of technology, could affect these characters. And I really loved it. And then it takes that turn, and it's not horrible, and but oddly animated. But it's frazzled and convoluted, and it kind of, I think it's one of those movies that really wants to tackle some heavy stuff, but falls in its own pit of being so big and so large and trying to say so much. I mean, the movie's themes are there, but they're not clear and crystal because there's so much going on here, and I think that they tried to be, I don't want to say have too much exploration, but they just try to tackle so much. These ideas just can't filter to the film's plot. It just doesn't click. And then I kind of like wasn't as invested. I wasn't as interested. First half I was like, this is me watch. I'm not frozen. Second half I was like, oh, what's going on? Ugh. What the? Not really, but you know what I mean. Like, just my attention and my focus wasn't as driven as it was in that first half. And it's not a bad film, but it's a movie that, like, you're just like, man, I wonder what would have happened if that movie really reached its full potential. And now I'm sure some of these fans of this movie would be like, you just didn't get it. And I think that's a cheap way of just saying, like, no, I like that you don't get it. That's not true. Like, the themes are there, but it's not clearly executed. And I think you could see that, and it's a bummer. But that's going to be it for this week. Next week, Vegas Film Critic. Well, this week, I'm doing a film festival, watching like 4 or 5 movies a day, and Vegas Film Critics movies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click getting up here with the eye. You'll see what I'm talking about with Vegas Film Critic and Jeffrey K. Howard. But I'm watching those movies now. I'll be back again on Monday to do another recap. Sorry again for this being late. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of my videos. Again, I'm going to be reviewing Warcraft, Conjuring 2, and Now You See Me 2. All this week on Friday. I'm also going to be talking about Metropolis, which is coming to the Henderson Pavilion here in Las Vegas, and here at Henderson, talking about the live orchestra that they're going to be doing. I'll be recapping the Las Vegas Film Festival, and I have my interview with Amy S. Weber finally coming up. I know that's been long in the making, but it's going to be here hopefully next week. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know, do you have any recommendations for me? Any movies I should watch? Any things I have to say about the movies I watched this week? Let me know down here in the comment sections below. I'd appreciate it. Again, follow me, Jake Tiranno, at Twitter and Instagram. I always appreciate it. What am I leaving out? Oh, slap a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jake Tiranno. Please continue chasing cinema.